Let's welcome Rui Pedro Silva, Global VP of Digital and Transformation at Adidas, a leader who has shaped the digital future of some of the world's most iconic brands. With a PhD in digital organizational readiness, he's the author of Pensa. Recognized as a European digital leader, Rui brings a rare blend of academic depth and hands-on leadership in building truly digital-first organizations.
Why did you waste all the time imagining what could potentially go wrong?
It's not about if you win or if you lose, because always, if you are competing, you are going to lose.
Yeah.
This is part of the game.
I am Santiago Naranjo, passionate about business and Chief Revenue Officer at Vitex. In this podcast, we talk about what is truly changing the game and the strategy behind global transformation.
So, first of all, thank you for being here. I know we have a packed agenda. We are here in Lisbon in the Web Summit, and it is not easy to find a space in our agenda. Like the last 72 hours, I have already sold it from 3 months ago. So thank you for opening your time for having a conversation with us.
Of course, pleasure to be here. It's a very crowded environment, so here is better.
Yes, we have silence and a little bit of air conditioner. So thank you for being here. And let's start for the ones that don't know your amazing career and background. It is not easy to achieve what you already achieved in your career. You are an example for many young talent. We were doing the research looking for talent across the world, and we find you. So thank you so much for this. But please introduce yourself and let the audience to understand who are you.
Wow, there's a lot of high bar there. I'm not sure if I'm all of that, but so I'm Rui Pedro. My friends call me Pedro, so just call me Pedro. It'll be fine.
Nice.
I was born in a very small town in the north of Portugal. I think it's 45 kilometers from Portugal. It's called Fão. It's like 2,000 people. I think my building in Germany is as many people as my hometown. So it's really like a small place.
Seriously?
Yeah, by the beach, super nice.
Ah.
You can get great fish. And I'm coming from a family of fishermen, construction builders. You can't get more humble than that.
Handy people.
And which is not my thing. So I soon realized I couldn't carry on with anyone's job in my family, so I had to do something else. I mean, in general, I'm a relaxed person. I love sports. I love doing sports. I'm a big passion about Formula One.
Seriously.
Super fan of
We
Formula
are going to have here in the podcast the principal of Formula One Red Bull in 2 hours.
Laurent Mekies.
Yes.
You can ask him if you want. You can also talk to him.
Please.
Make the three of us.
Okay.
Even though I'm more of a Ferrari fan, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I give him that.
You will sacrifice.
He's doing a great job in Red Bull, I can say.
Yes.
He did a great job in the AlphaTauri, or what's called now V-Car. He's a great guy. I think and he has a great personality to manage. So he's managing Max Verstappen. That can't be easy.
Can you imagine?
I cannot imagine, no? Because he's a really talented person, not like me.
Look, I am trying to manage my baby boy that just born 2 months ago, and I think I don't know how he managed Verstappen. Don't get me wrong.
I think he's worse. Verstappen is probably the most raw, talented F1 driver probably the world has seen. But I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan, therefore I cannot like Max Verstappen. It's just like it's like a pact you have to do. If you like one, you can't like the other one. I love all of them.
We had in the stage 2 years ago Lewis Hamilton in Sao Paulo with a crowd of 50,000 people on Vitex Day in Sao Paulo. He is a gentleman.
He's amazing.
He is so
kind, God. is honest, is outspoken. He uses his voice for greater causes. He doesn't shy away from conflicting conversations. He is a great example. So the way you describe me, I'm just a guy. He's really an example.
No, but he is wired differently. So you speak Portuguese.
I do speak Portuguese. I would say I also speak Spanish.
Yes,
but it's because I speak Portuñol. Like if you're in the north of Portugal,
yes,
we always believe we speak Spanish. What we do is we speak Portuguese and we just put some kind of a music, and we believe we're speaking Spanish. Well, in reality, we're not.
Pedro, now you say we need to hear the music.
No, yo hablo muy bien castellano.
Muy bien español.
Muy bien español.
Muy bien portuñol.
Se habla muy bien portuñol, ¿no?
So you speak a little bit of Spanish, Portuguese, of course, perfect English and German also?
Yeah, I do speak German.
So amazing.
Yeah, my wife is German.
Nice.
My kids speak German at home. I had to learn German, otherwise they would be cheating on me every day. It's like they were hiding. I mean, my daughter, I have a 12 years old, 11, almost 12 years old daughter. I know I look this young, but I really have a 12 years old, and she knows her thing. They would switch to German just to get me out of the conversation. So I had to learn.
Psychologists say that we have a different personality for each language that we speak. I speak Spanish, Portuguese, and English, and my wife always says to me, if you speak one word with me on English or Portuguese, I will be hard on you. I will be strong, because the only way to have a strong conversation, a direct conversation in Spanish, because it's more like my native language. So psychologists say that depending the language, you have a different
Yes,
conversation.
auf Deutsch ich bin sehr, sehr, sehr hart.
Yes.
So
it is deep wire on us. So tell me a little bit on how you became a fan on sports.
I mean, I think sports. I mean, if you're born in a social neighborhood, like you're gonna find something to play with your friends. So I was born in a underprivileged area in the north of Portugal. We had no much money, so the only thing we had was sand or muddy pitch, super oxidated gold that completely destroyed, ball that I think was probably aged by the time we started playing, and it's like how we come together. So football was super important for me. I mean, you got great Colombian players here in Portugal.
Not only Portugal, but now I am with Luis Diaz.
Lucho Diaz, yeah.
Lucho Diaz.
He's
God.
an Adidas player, so he's a good guy.
Lucho
but
Diaz.
I was big fan of Jackson Martinez.
Oh,
I was big fan of Falcao.
Oh, Falcao is also the tiger.
And I know he was a bit less known. He's a bit less known, but I played for my club in Portugal. Freddy Montero,
Of course.
proper number 10. That's like
Proper number 10.
proper like play. So
Love it.
love football. Grew up playing football with friends. Played pretty high in Portugal as well. And one of the things I always learn about sports is it's how you learn the basics and the principles of camaraderie, the principles of coming together, the principles of compensating, helping each other, finding the strengths, finding the weaknesses, and just work together as a team. When you do it right, the outcome is great. When you don't get it right, you tend to lose. And so I developed always this passion of how you use sports as a way to do better in life. How do you take the learnings out of sports and do better in life? How do you take the learnings out of coaches that are working with you when you're 10 years old? How do you take learnings from friends who are playing with you when you get injured, when you're not playing, when you're upset, how you deal with frustration? There's so much you get out of a sports team, of a football team or a volleyball team or a Formula One team. It's how you find marginal gains, how you work hard to get slightly better. All of those things, discipline, those are just amazing learnings for life. So sports for me is not an hobby. Sports for me is a life mentality. I watch Formula One all the time, like pre-practice 1, 2, 3, qualifying, post-race, race. I always want to believe Lewis Hamilton's going to win, but he's just not winning for a while. But what I always like about that is how they work around the clock to just gain 100 millisecond, 50 millisecond. Like this is such a small gain, and they work so much for that. When I work with my teams, we always talk about sports analogies. I always talk about sports athletes. I always talk about coaches and how we can leverage their mentality into doing better in our life. And so sports for me has been there since ever. And I think will be there until I die.
Love it. Yesterday we have the interview with Rafa Nadal. He was saying like, look, in businesses and sports, to be successful, you need to be a lot of things. But one thing that you cannot be is to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's as, we were just reviewing the video because it's going to be viral, I think, in 20 to 25 minutes. But he said, like, Santi, to be able to feel comfortable with being uncomfortable, it is what performance is. And this is why I am so obsessed with the sports, with soccer, with Formula One, with tennis, because for me, the biggest entrepreneurial team of person that can exist is a sport one.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe they don't have the money, maybe don't generate like the IPO concept of like, you know, this luxury.
I think Rafa Nadal is doing just fine financially.
He's not suffering, believe
I
me.
think he's doing fine.
But it is a lot of people that are.
I know.
That was
I
brutal.
think he's doing just
Yeah,
fine.
he is very more than fine. But when they start
Yeah,
the
of course.
sport, no one start believing that they're going to be rich. They want to be
They want to
on the
compete.
field. They want to do in a match. They want to win. They want to be better.
Yep.
And then as a consequence,
Yep.
everything pop up. But the sports person, athletes are the biggest
For sure. Yep.
entrepreneurs.
You are now in Portugal. Like you have the best example of someone who is billionaire and still wakes up every day and trains earlier than the others, which is Ronaldo, right? He's 41 or is going to turn 41 in February 5th.
I'm starting to feel very old.
I
in
just,
this
yeah,
interview.
me too. I just watched this interview with Piers Morgan this last week. I mean, the guy is 41. He's still the guy is the earliest to get to the training pitch. He's the last to leave. He's working, he's training, he's eating, he's sleeping, he's resting. He's scoring 25, 30 goals a season. And you ask him, like, what is he chasing? He's still chasing the next win. He's still chasing the next trophy. I was in the stadium in Munich when we won the Nations League against Spain, which is never a bad thing to win against Spain, right?
Well, never.
If you win against Spain, the final is even better. And I was in the stands behind the Portuguese subs, and he was in the penalties. He was already out. And there is a moment where he just describes him. He has won 4 or 5 Champions Leagues. He has won 4 or 5 Ballon d'Or, right? Best player in the world. He has won all of those things, and still he's crying his life out, nervous as hell, because he doesn't know if he's going to win the Nations League.
Yeah.
I mean, what is a Nations League in the curriculum of this guy? But what I love about him is that his next game is the most important game of his life. Doesn't matter if he's playing against Spain, doesn't matter if he's playing against Georgia, doesn't matter if he's playing against the top team of the league or the last team of the league. You put this guy playing in the 5th amateur league of Portugal, and he will play as if it's the most important game of his life. That mentality,
It's brutal.
that mentality
And
makes
he
you,
is fully self-made. He
Yes.
starts from
that makes
taking a bus,
That-
borrowing some money to go to play soccer.
that makes you win. That's the mentality makes you win.
That's
It's being comfortable to be uncomfortable. I love that.
I
That's why Rafa Nadal is like that, and I'm not. You can make those smart statements.
He also says a sentence. Sorry, I am using some sentence
Feel free.
from Nadal because I spent so much time yesterday with him, but was like, Santi, it's not about if you win or if you lose. Because always, if you are competing, you are going to lose.
Yeah.
This is part of the game.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, he lost
Yeah.
many games. Nadal, for sure, he told me, look, 52% of my points I have lost.
Yeah, for sure.
52, so I need to get more used to lose than to win to be a world champion.
But it's about coming back from the loss, right?
Exactly.
That's-
And to be able to define who you are when you lose,
Yeah.
who you are when you win, and
Yeah.
to understand that a win or a lose doesn't define who you are.
Yeah.
It's how you take it.
I studied behavioral psychology, and I'm a big fan of sports psychology. And one of the things that we learn in behavioral sports psychology is that you can only control the process. You can't control the outcome. You can train as hard as you can for a game. The day of the game you wake up with a headache, you can't control that. So you have to look at this, what is within your control. And I like this concept of circle of control, circle of influence, circle of acceptance. Some things you just gotta accept. Man, you can't accept. Like, look at these people organizing the Web Summit. They did an amazing job. They can't control the day it's going to rain out of,
No way.
right? The sky is falling down in water.
Like crazy.
They can't. But
Yes.
what they can control is having a plan B.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference because people can still work. If I'm working to my teams, I can't control the consumer having a bad day and saying, I don't like this shoe. What I can do is I can make sure that whenever this consumer is there, he has the shoe to see. And then he can make the choose, or she. Whenever they do, that's okay. And I think sometimes we're too much driven by the wrong goals. I mean, of course, I want to sell. Of course, the company wants to sell. But I'm not sitting on your desk when you're choosing what. So what I have to do is I have to control the pieces that give you the right context and the right information to make the right choice. And then sometimes you're going to do one that I like. Sometimes you're going to do one that I don't. And in sports, it's the same. Like, yeah, we can train. I'm writing an article to MIT. And I was working yesterday on the draft during the flight. And I was thinking about, like, how do I start? Because it's about this concept of readiness. how are you ready to maximize results? How do you work on your readiness? And I always use this concept of, if you do sports, or let's say if you run a marathon or if you run a half marathon, and you have a target to run. You want to run below 45 minutes 10K, or below whatever, 1 hour 30 minutes in half marathon. Just because you say that, it's just not going to happen by accident, right? I mean, even if you're a good runner, you're going to have to put up the work, do the training, wake up in the morning, eat properly, sleep properly. And if you don't do those things, you can wake up in the day of the race all fine, you're still going to fail. Because within your control is all the preparation you can do, all the hard work you can have. And then sometimes it's going to work and sometimes it's not. But it's what I also like to tell my teams, and now I like to talk when I talk about leadership. It's not about being perfect. It's about coming back next day and try again. And if you do that, sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, but you're always going to get up in the morning and think, I did the best I could. We just try again.
Just try again. Love it. Very good message.
Tomorrow you can tell someone that I also said it, not just Rafa Nadal.
Believe me, I will do it. I will do it. This concept, I love when you say that we need to be okay with the things that we do not control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use another. I give you my word. Let's use the camera. That I will use your sentence with the Oracle Red Bull director I'm going to have. So I'm going to quote you, okay?
Tell Laura Mekies that Pedro said this.
Okay.
I want to see if he's going to say that on TV next time.
So I was this morning with Eric, one of the Olympic gold medal of CLGP, and he is from Germany. And something that he was teaching us, he said, look, I can prepare the boat, I can evaluate how windy it will be, I can do the telemetry, but you cannot control the ocean.
Yeah,
the waves,
wind,
the wind. It is, look, you do the best you can do, and then it is just performance.
Yeah.
In his case, he have a teammate, for example.
Yeah.
And he said, look, at the beginning, when we were not so synchronized, we talked a lot during the competition. Hey, how the hell that the beginning you just talk a lot? Well, what is happening right now? He said, no, now we are synchronized.
Yeah, there's trust.
If we need to talk, if we need to yell, if we need to make signs during the competition, forget about it. We are screwed.
They're really losing.
Because if we don't have the energy to feel the other one, to trust, because it's first to trust, but then to feel the energy.
Yeah.
What is happening? What is his perspective? How you can adapt?
Yeah.
And this is what you are telling.
For sure. And it's, one thing is the level of preparation matters. And the other thing that also matters is it's your adaptability towards what the world gives you, what happens, and I always like this concept of people tend to fail more often the more fear they have of the failure, the more fear of the consequence of their failure. And there is this thing about if you're doing something, if you're playing with friends, whatever game, you're playing pool or whatever, and if nothing's going to happen, man, you're free, you're cool, you're enjoying, and you don't really care much if you're going to fail because you're like, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of players, when they are training, they're amazing. When they get into the game, they fail. And because they create this fear in their mind that if they fail, something is going to happen. They're going to be perceived bad, or they're going to be responsible for a failure. And there's a friend of mine that likes to say, fear only exists because you imagine it. Because if you don't, then it's okay. And there is a fun, interesting video from Will Smith where he's talking about the first time he did skydiving. And he talks about how anxious and stressed out he was all the way until the door of the plane opened. I mean, it's also very funny how he explains, of course, it's much funnier than I do. And he talks about how panicking he was, how stressed, anxious, he did not sleep. And then he says, the second I jumped out of the plane is the absolute most amazing experience of your life. The point of maximum fear is at the other side of the point of maximum bliss. Why did you waste all the time
energy
imagining what could potentially go wrong? So I like to say, when someone goes like, what if this goes wrong? I like to say, what if that goes right? Because, it could also go right. And if it does go wrong, we just manage it. I always have these bracelets. Yeah, a bit of a hippie. which is my stories I tell myself. And one of them says, we'll figure something out.
Nah.
I tell my teams, something goes wrong, we'll figure something out. If we don't have a solution, we'll find one. If we don't have one, we try again. And there's a couple of stuff I tell myself, and that is what we do matters a lot more than what we say. Anyone can sell dreams. Anyone can sell nice words, but it's what you do every day. It's what you do it's when you show up. It's your behaviors. It's your example. It's your ethics. It's your work ethics. It's how you go out and tell others, you show others what you can do, not because you say you are great or not because you say you are the best, but because you do it, you show it. Like you talked about Rafa Nadal, we talked about Max Verstappen. Those two examples of, they're not hugely press talkers, right?
No.
But when time shows up, they don't imagine fear. They just perform. And there is this story of a friend that says, if you put the 10 best golfers in the world to just put the ball in the putt, I don't know what to say, put the ball in the hole, 2 meters away, they can close their eyes and do it 10 times out of 10 times without even looking. Just for fun, for free. Now you tell them, if you fail, the world's going to collapse or someone's going to die. And now suddenly 9 will fail because they can't cope with the pressure of the failure. They just imagine that so badly that they can't cope with it. What I think I take from sports and what I like to do is, pressure is a privilege. I mean, like I enjoy that. I mean, if I'm too comfortable, it's not fun.
It's not fun.
If I know I'm going to succeed, I'm not anxious. I mean, there's a healthy level of anxious, right? If I'm anxious in a way like, I'm not sure about it, that's good because I'm on my toes. Right? You are up and running. You know that something you pay attention. When you are like, whatever, you start getting disciplined, you start getting condescending, you start not paying attention, you start like whatever. When you are like, you think something could go wrong, you pay attention. You look into the details, you check up twice, you just talk to people, you go around. That is the difference between average performance and high performance. And if you stick to that, doesn't matter if it is in sports, in e-commerce, in sales. It's just a matter of mentality. You asked me in the beginning, we talked in the beginning about my career. My career is, I'm not smarter than anyone else. I mean, trust me, I'm very average brain in here. I think it comes down to mentality. When someone shies away from the criticality, I step in. When someone is afraid it could go wrong, I take in. When someone thinks that this could eventually not work, I'm in. I mean, when someone goes like, we have these situations, my wife always says like, someone called me for a different company, like, hey, we're in shit. I'm like, I'm in. But we can bankrupt. Yeah, that's all right. We're going to be fine. Because that's like turning something around and making it successful. That's what makes it fun. Marginally just being good because you're just there and you're comfortable. Some people like it, make no mistake. I have nothing against any way of living. I just feel like we live 80 years on average. I mean, we got to make the best out of it, right?
Yeah.
We only have 2 things in life that actually matter. It's people and time.
Yeah.
Time, we never get back. It's the most cruel currency we have in life. All this time we are spending here, you don't get it back.
No.
Right? You don't get it back. This just doesn't matter if we just done. So what matters is the people we spend that time, because that will define, have you made the best out of it or you screw it? And I try to make always the best out of the time, man. We got a very limited, it's a clock down. You can't stop.
Look, you surprised me.
You thought I was just a tech guy talking about systems.
That is an amazing masterclass on leadership and performance and how you operate. And I'm very happy find this space with you. As you say, we didn't meet each other and we were doing the research and everybody told me, look, you need to talk with this guy. You need to talk with this guy. And I can see it now. I will tell you, you have this mentality. You're able to articulate how we should create performance, how you see the world. And I'm learning here from you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that we can see each other maybe in a soccer game, maybe in a Formula One. Let's try to make it because I enjoyed this conversation as hell. I love it. I hope that we can talk more time about different sport, about your mentality, your leadership in any company. For sure, you are going to do amazing things, and anybody that works close to you should be happy because you are quite of a leader.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It was a pleasure being here. And don't forget, we always have to have fun.
Thank you
That's the
so,
only
so
way.
much.
Pleasure.
Appreciate.
Of course.
That's it, my friend.